Hello, I'm Tammy Wierenga. I'm the Human Resources Manager at Graco in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Graco is a worldwide manufacturer of fluid handling equipment. We build sprayers and pumps. In the Sioux Falls location, we build the applicator part of the product, so anything that applies a fluid is built in Sioux Falls. A very common example would be a spray gun. As a human resources professional, there are a lot of different things you could do. You could specialize in a certain area of human resources, or you could be more of a generalist. It really depends on the company's size and its needs. Some of the main job responsibilities include making sure your business is compliant with federal and state employment laws, recruiting and hiring employees, including your interns, setting up and administering the benefit programs, determining employees' pay, writing job descriptions, making sure that the pay is competitive in your area, administering medical leave requests, handling any worksite injury claims, and much more. Those are just a few of the things that an HR person could do. Really, day to day looks very different in human resources. A lot of time is spent talking to people, communicating, solving problems, negotiating, presenting information, taking part in meetings, researching things, making sure you're keeping up on those employment laws. Really, the day is driven by what priorities are ahead of you, what the business needs are, deadlines. Those all determine what the day looks like. The education required for a human resource professional position is a minimum of a bachelor's degree in business or management. A master's degree would be required for higher level positions. A certification in human resources is also something that is very common to help an HR person build their resume. My job story. I didn't choose HR. I actually wanted to be an accountant. I went to school for accounting, and my first job in accounting, I found I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought. Then the company announced that they were moving my job to another location in the United States. And since my job was going away, I applied for a different position within the company. The position was in the human resources office, and I found I really enjoyed it. So I continued my career in human resources. 25 years later, I am still enjoying what I do. In general, I've worked for manufacturing companies, and I found that I really like that environment. And in the past couple of years, I've also obtained my master's degree, so I've continued my education. My advice to you is to always keep an open mind and be willing to listen. You never know where your next opportunity or next job offer could come from. It's important to have good community connections. Keep in touch with people. Be willing to help, be willing to volunteer. It can be both personally and professionally rewarding. For a job, know what you want. Before you start that search, know what you're looking for. What's your vision? What are your goals? Don't be willing to accept just anything just to have a job. Make sure that it's something that you will enjoy and it will contribute to your long-term goals. Have a resume ready. Thinking about writing a resume can be overwhelming, but really it doesn't have to be. Pick a format that fits your style. There's no certain template that you have to use. Make it simple, easy to read, keep it professional. Don't make spelling or grammatical errors. Highlight what's important about you. Showcase your strengths. The reader should be able to pick up on your strengths immediately when reading a resume. Have 3 references ready in case you're asked for them. You don't need to supply them when you're applying for a job unless requested, but have them ready. So those references can be people like your teachers, your coaches, pastor, former coworkers, bosses, but always ask those people for their permission to be a reference for you. When I hire someone, what I look for is a good communicator and someone who shows that they've had initiative and drive. So if they've got a good background of jobs that they've had, volunteer work, sports that they've been part of, clubs, activities, anything that builds their story that shows they have a lot of initiative, they're a hard worker, that's someone I want to hire. So what about the interview? My advice for interviews are two things. Research the company and be ready. So research about the company. So the number one thing that makes people look bad when they come in for an interview is they don't know anything about the job or about the company. Read the job posting. Make sure you understand what you've applied for and be ready to ask questions. Read about that company. It's real easy to find the website, articles about the company, reviews about the company. So get to know who that company is. And then be ready with your questions. So the interviewer will always ask you, what questions do you have? And people almost always say, you've answered all my questions. And that cannot be true. There's no way the interviewer could have answered all your questions. So make sure you've written some questions down, because when you're sitting in that interview, it can be very easy to forget what you wanted to ask. So have a little list of questions ready. That will impress the interview, that you've done your research and you've thought about what do you want to know about this job and about this company. Good luck to you on your job search and your career.